Greetings, groovy people! Roll on up for the August Q&A Magical Mystery Tour, where I, the self-proclaimed Blue Dragon, I can't say it with a straight face, will be answering some of my $10 patrons' questions. Or not, because there were no questions asked, which is perfectly fine, thus leaving me to answer some of the questions I've gotten elsewhere, and leaving some of those questions a mystery. But before, I don't know why I do that. But before we get on board this bus, there's no bus. A word from our sponsors. There's no sponsors! Okay, it's just me. I'm so silly today. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. I have nothing to be sorry about. I'm silly today and I don't care. But yeah, seriously, I guess my sponsors would be my patrons, so thank you guys. Also, I did notice that I have a couple new subscribers. Thank you. I watch that number like a hawk, because I'm crazy. Actually, I think all YouTubers do that, unless you're like PewDiePie or something. But thank you, thank you. Also, thank you for comments that I've gotten. Thank you. Let's see here, the things that I need to cover before we get started. December 20th through 22nd, 2019, I will be in Rosemont at the O'Hare Regency Hyatt for Con Alt Delete. It's a big anime comic book, that kind of convention thing going on. My booth is going to be called Blue Dragon Art, so if you're going to be attending, please stop by, give me a holler, say hi. I'd love to chat with someone. I'll be selling Act 1. Ideally, I'll be selling Act 2 of Dark Horse if I can finish the darn flip. I've got some pages I need to redraw, as usual. And yeah, I'm going to have stickers and prints and stuff, so I've been working on that this week. I know it's not till December, but it's better to be, you know, ahead of the, you know what I mean, not doing things last minute. I've been trying to get that stuff under control. If anyone's looking for a way to make a little bit of change, or maybe a couple bucks, depending on how well traveled your site is, Project Wonderful, which unfortunately they had to close down not that long ago, but someone has stepped up to take their place. It's called Comic Ad Network. I use it myself. I haven't been advertising yet. I plan on doing so soon, but they are pretty cool. I've made like $1.30 something from advertising. I've got a couple empty slots up there right now, but yeah, I mean, if you want to promote indie comics on your website, or if you are an indie comic, go ahead and go there. I mean, there's a few people who accept free ads, and also you can advertise if you're willing to throw a few cents, a day. It just depends on what, who you select. You can bid for slots on various comic pages or website pages. So yeah, if that's something you're interested in, the link is comicad, all one word, .net. That'll be down in the description. And then this Friday, we're gonna have Friday night videos. It's officially beginning. I am going to start doing that. I'm not going to talk about it. I'm going to let this Friday's video tell you what I'm going to be doing there. So don't forget to like, sub, and click the bell so that you'll be notified when I update those videos. So Wednesdays, Fridays. Because I said so, go do it. It's my mom's favorite answer. I'm just kidding, you guys. I'm just kidding. I'm not trying to be bossy here. But yeah, let's go ahead and get this trip started. Can I stop with the metaphor already? Okay, first question. And actually, I think this question pretty much takes up most of the video. Yeah, so what's going on with the black magic? Why are the blobs not responding? I kind of touched upon that a little bit, but do they have a consciousness? Wow, lots of questions. So let's recap. Souls are magic energy. Black magic is stolen souls from people. It is souls that are stolen. And then those souls are negative, because when you steal a soul unwillingly, that energy goes negative. Quick recap there. Look how quick. I could have spent less than 10 minutes on that. Those last few videos. Anyway, yeah, so in order for black magic to work, unless you're using souls immediately, you really need to store them somewhere. Kasima stores hers, as I've said a couple times, in her quote-unquote ivory stone bone. But because the negative energy is so corrosive, that container needs to be reinforced and well maintained, or after a period of time, that container will begin to leak, it begins to weaken, which is why the fairy stealing Kasima made a huge, stupid mistake sealing her away outside of the fairy veil. Now, on one hand, it was like, not my problem, so I mean, I guess you can see why they don't really care. But the whole point was to keep her in prison, so, you know, maybe you should have had at least somebody sit and guard re-upping that container, but, you know, they didn't care. They cut themselves off from the human world, and they were done with us, so that's what happened. But yeah, her prison did last a while because the magic was pretty powerful that she had on the Ivory Stone herself, but also what they had imbued upon it when they captured her soul in there. But it eventually, you know, did start to get some holes, and after the Human War, and there was also been an earthquake in the Cascadias, I think in like 1901 or something. So like, due to like all of these things kind of stirring the temple where her stone was kept, or was buried, I should say, she eventually gets, you know, she awakens, and because that's been corroded a bit, she's able to start projecting her essence out and kind of luring Kanna in later on, which you guys will see, or if maybe you've already read Act 2 over on Comic Fury, but it's going to be coming up in Act 4 of the revamp. Oh my gosh, I just got done thumbnailing Act 3, the end of it. I'm so excited. Anyway, so you got your container. You shove as many souls into it as you can. What happens inside the container? Yeah, well, the souls will at first kind of, you know, they repel each other, but there's a lot of movement going on inside the container. It is an intra-dimensional space, but if you want to actually have access to your magic, you don't want it to be like an infinite space. You want to make sure that you'll be able to get your magic when you call upon it. So the souls, at first, you know, for a period of time, the souls are able to maintain their consciousness and who they are. But after a while, because negative energy is corrosive and things are bouncing around in there, they start to undergo word of Wednesday, a fission of the soul, and where there's fission, things start to refuse, and that's where this amalgamation of just various consciousnesses come from. Conscience, you know what I'm saying. They're so close, those two words, conscience and conscious, but they start to reform, and just once you get to that state, whoever the person's soul was, whatever it was, it's no longer who that person was. And so there's a consciousness there, but it's not aware of itself, and it's, you know, it's just kind of unwieldy because it wants to act, but it has no idea how to act. And unless you're someone who is very powerful, you know, unless you can force your will upon this mass of souls and wield that power, most of the time, if you're someone like Renshaw, it's just going to go out of control. Whereas someone like Keisuma, for various reasons, is powerful enough to actually control and maintain that power. The other thing about black magic is you're not usually using an entire soul in one go. I mean, as with the case of Kanna, when she used her own soul magic, if she'd used all of it, she would have died. And that was it was just a massive explosion of magic. So if you're doing like little spells here and there, you're just picking apart these souls. So I mean, that's another thing that kind of breaks down the souls. And once you've got some particles missing, then they're going to want to reform with or attach to anything, it's similar to like the whole concept of why a base is a base and why an acid is an acid. I think a base has an extra hydrogen, and so it encourages things to attach to it. And then I think acid is missing a hydrogen. That was my phone. Ignore that. I think it's missing a hydrogen, and so it usually pulls. So I mean, I think that's why there's a difference between acid and bases. If I'm wrong, please, somebody look it up. Tell me if I'm wrong. I'm happy to admit I'm wrong, but I thought that's what I remembered from school. But yeah, I mean, see, I only had time to answer that part of the question. But yeah, I've still got questions regarding willingness and what is the will? How does it play a part in all of this? So that's, unless I get questions from my patrons, which those questions will take precedence. But if I don't get any questions, that's going to be the topic for next month's Q&A. So hey, we got that. Good to go. That wraps it up for this. Thank you for joining me on the tour. Just kidding. I need to drop that. Question of the week. Mug, glass, or tumbler? Which is your favorite container? Please like the video, subscribe, do the bell thing, and thank you for watching. Peace and love, fare you well, and keep on trucking.